the addendum to that was that, like, even though I've always liked doing staring contests, the kind where you look at each other until the first person laughs, I thought that was always good. I did pretty well in improv, keeping my giggles down even when I got the giggles, although I'd let the giggles out sometimes during rehearsal, but the point was, being able to sustain it, where some people, like, couldn't seem to contain their giggles, and even during performances. So I think, you see it on, comedy shows where they're live, and it's a good skill to have. So, I could kind of like power through and like really do the eye thing, but it is pretty uncomfortable, and there's people who just won't do it, and they have a hard time even making eye contact while talking. I actually had to learn that. I think it was like in middle school. There was someone who made to me it felt very intense eye contact, and I kind of admired it. I thought, I noticed that like I'm really looking away a lot, and I wanted to learn how to be able to make eye contact like they did. So I really pushed myself, and it wasn't too long before I was able to make eye contact. Now, granted, it is pretty typical that when you're talking, you look in different places, and, people who know a lot about NLP will know more about that and why. But when you're listening, it's much easier to look into their eyes, and that's a good start if you want to practice that. If you're trying to up your eye contact game quality, not really game, but abilities, it can help to, especially while they're talking, you're listening, focus on the eyes, and then when you're talking, it's more normal to look all over. Some people, will look right here in between the eyes, or at the nose, or sometimes even the mouth. I often, the movement draws my attention, so I might be looking at the mouth while they're talking, but, at least I've heard looking here can give you, they'll think you're looking at their eyes, but you don't have to feel the weirdness. So what was the other thing? Oh, right. So you'd think cuddling with a stranger would be so much weirder than the eye contact, but it just wasn't. And the weird thing is, like, you might be cuddling with someone that you have barely made eye contact with, and at times, I remember hearing from videos like, oh, you're cuddling and you don't even know whose arm or leg that is anymore. And there was, at one point I was like, I tapped someone, I was like, whoever's arm this is, can I put my hand on your arm? And even they have name tags, like, a lot of time you might be seeing someone from the back, so either you can't see their name tag, or you forgot their name, or you can't recognize them from the back, so you just say, like, hey, can I, rub your shoulders or something, and it's kind of funny to be, cuddling with someone you're not even certain who it is at the time. And, I mean, you know from earlier, but that's the thing, like, now I'm calling so many more things cuddling. Like, there were foot rubs going on to me, that's part of cuddling. Rubbing of arms, cuddling. Whereas I always used to think cuddling was like for boyfriends and girlfriends and husbands and wives, and, like a movie, cuddling like this, or like I thought cuddling was like a bear hug kind of thing, and I had other conceptions, but I often, like, I thought girls were the only cuddly ones, and guys would just say they were cuddly just to get other things, and I didn't believe that guys, because no guys were admitting to really being cuddly at certain times in my awareness. But then I learned more and more. Guys are like, I really do like cuddling, and I was kind of skeptical at first, but now I'm pretty darn confident that there's a lot of guys. I mean, there were more guys at this cuddle party than there were girls. So I now have a better grasp of this idea that guys love cuddling too, and they find it satisfying, and they find it complete. It doesn't always have to lead somewhere. It is like, just like no is a full sentence, we learn, the cuddle is a full experience. It's not like waiting in line to go on the ride at the amusement park and then not going on the ride. It's basically like, well, okay, I don't have another analogy, but it's like okay, like if you're hungry and you have an entree, that is a complete meal. If you have dessert, that is a different thing. That's dessert, but it is not an incomplete meal because you didn't have dessert. Now, I realize there's some people who would probably argue, but that's because they've got, eating stuff. But anyway, so to those who might think, oh my gosh, this is gonna be so weird, I was thinking, because at the train station, you would almost never go over and sit next to someone and say, hey, can I put my head on your shoulder? But you might make eye contact with them. So but you're probably never gonna like gaze at their eyes for more than a couple seconds. So yes, we have light eye contact, or like when we're, going by someone, we might, brush them by accident or something, or, in a really busy area. That's sort of like that same very quick eye contact, very quick inadvertent, brushing against. So it can, it makes sense that people would think it's going to be so weird, but it is surprising how not weird it is. Just like it's not really weird to go get a massage, or it's not weird that your doctor, checks your breathing or feels your throat or something, because that's kind of like their assigned thing to do. You expect it. Here, because of the safe container, that's the thing. It's because of the safe container. It's not like out in the world trying to ask someone, can I put my head on your shoulder, and well, they don't know what your motive is. What if you're in a team with a pickpocket in some gypsy place, or where I've heard they'll even throw their baby at you so that or a fake baby, but I've heard a real baby, so you'll catch it and they'll drop your stuff and they'll come and take it or whatever. So I forgot my point with that. Oh, that it would be weird out in the world maybe to like do that because you may have an ulterior motive, whereas here it's all for part of the cuddle party. So yes, I may have been very pro cuddle party going into it, but I still was a little bit nervous, and I still saw that there could be room for weirdness. But I was a little bit uncomfortable at times, but I love the quotes that I've heard, such as the people with either the most successful people in life are those with the greatest capacity or tolerance or ability to let themselves be uncomfortable, because it's getting outside that comfort zone that helps you grow. I talk about, you got the comfort zone in here, where you live and where you spend a lot of time and stay comfortable. Then there is the growth zone. It's outside of the comfort zone where growth happens, you develop and you progress, but it's not dangerous. It's not like going to give you a heart attack. Like if you really have no interest in skydiving and you have heart issues, then skydiving would not be in the growth zone. It would be in the danger zone. There's no need to go into the danger zone to grow, because that could cause issues. But if you really do like the idea of skydiving, but you're just nervous and scared, but you really want to push yourself to do it, that would be in the growth zone, because it's certainly not comfort zone, but you do want to, and you'd have to be uncomfortable to do it, so that would cause you growth. But it's not causing you danger like someone who truly has no interest, and it could cause like medical issues. So I lost my train of thought again. I normally do much shorter videos, even though this is my natural tendency to just chit chat. But growth zone, container. Well, anyway, it leaves a lot of, right. Even though I was very pro cuddle party, it didn't mean I was like 100% super comfortable. Everything was a breeze with this. I still was nervous, and I still wondered if it was going to feel awkward or whatever. So it did, and I let myself feel that and did it anyway. And I'm super glad I did, and it was so worth it. And because I felt that, I can relate to anyone who's like, oh, I'm not sure. But remember, you're not required to touch anybody. You could go there and just talk and just sit there, and that's fine. So you wouldn't have to do anything that's out of your growth zone even. But then if you decided you wanted to join, you'd be more than welcome to. So quite frankly, I don't know why anybody wouldn't come to a cuddle party.